There was as soon as a lady who turned into very, very pleased, although she had little to make her so, for she was old, and bad, and lonely. She lived in a touch little bit of a cottage and earned a scant residing via jogging errands for her neighbours, getting a chunk right here, a sup there, as praise for her services. So she made shift to get on, and constantly regarded as spry and cheery as though she had now not a need inside the world. Now one summer evening, as she changed into trotting, full of smiles as ever, alongside the high road to her hovel, what ought to she see but a big black pot lying in the ditch. "Goodness me," she cried, "that might be simply the very factor for me if I simplest had something to install it. However, I have never. Now who could have left it within the ditch?" And here she looked about her, waiting for the proprietor could now not be a long way off, but she ought to see nobody. "Maybe there's a hollow in it," she went on, "and that's why it has been forged away. However, it'd do best to position a flower in for my window, so I will just take it home with me." And with that she lifted the lid and looked internal. "Mercy me," she cried, fair amazed. "If it isn't always complete of gold portions. Here's good fortune." And so it became, brimful of amazing gold coins. Well, at the beginning she absolutely stood stock nonetheless, thinking if she turned into standing on her head or her heels. Then she commenced announcing, "Locks. But I do feel rich. I sense lousy rich." After she had stated this usually, she started out to surprise how she was to get her treasure home. It was too heavy for her to carry, and he or she may want to see no higher way than to tie the give up of her shawl to it and drag it at the back of her like a go-kart. "It will quickly be dark," she said to herself as she trotted alongside. "A lot the higher. The neighbours will now not see what I'm bringing domestic, and that I shall have all of the night to myself, and be able to think what I will do. Mayhap I'll buy a grand house and just sit down by using the fireplace with a cup o' tea and do no paintings at all like a queen. Or maybe I'll bury it on the garden foot and simply keep a bit within the antique china teapot on the chimney piece. Or perhaps, goody. I feel that grand I do not know myself." With the aid of this time she became a piece tired of dragging such a heavy weight, and, preventing to rest some time, grew to become to have a look at her treasure. And lo! It wasn't a pot of gold at all. It was not anything but a lump of silver. She stared at it, and rubbed her eyes, and stared at it again. "Well, I by no means," she said at ultimate. "And me wondering it was a pot of gold. I need to were dreaming. But that is luck. Silver is a long way much less problem, easier to mind, and no longer so smooth stolen. Them gold pieces might had been the death o' me, and with this first-rate lump of silver." So she went off again making plans what she would do, and feeling as rich, till turning into a bit tired again she stopped to rest and gave a glance round to look if her treasure become secure, and she or he saw nothing but a brilliant lump of iron. "Nicely. I in no way," says she again. "And that I mistaking it for silver. I need to have been dreaming. But this is good fortune. It's actual convenient. I will get penny portions for vintage iron, and penny portions are a deal handier for me than your gold and silver. Why? I should in no way have slept a wink for worry of being robbed. But a penny piece comes in beneficial, and I shall sell that iron for loads and be real rich, rolling rich." So on she trotted full of plans as to how she might spend her penny pieces, until another time she stopped to relaxation and regarded round to see her treasure became secure. And this time she saw nothing but a large stone. "Well, I never," she cried, full of smiles. "And to suppose I mistook it for iron. I must had been dreaming. However, here's success certainly, and me wanting a stone terrible horrific to stick open the gate. My. However, it is a trade for the hire. It's a excellent factor to have excellent luck." So, all in a rush to look how the stone might keep the gate open, she trotted off down the hill till she got here to her personal cottage. She unlatched the gate, after which grew to become to unfasten her shawl from the stone which lay on the direction in the back of her eye. It turned into a stone sure sufficient. There has been masses light to see it mendacity there, deuce and peaceful as a stone should. So she bent over it to unfasten the scarf quit, when, oh my! All of a unexpected it gave a soar, a squeal, and in 1 second changed into as huge as a haystack. Then it permit down 4 exquisite lanky legs and threw out long ears, nourished a amazing long tail and romped off, kicking and squealing and whinnying and guffawing like a naughty, mischievous boy. The vintage girl stared after it until it became fairly out of sight, then she burst out guffawing too. Nicely. She chuckled, I am in luck. Quite the luckiest body hereabouts. Fancy my seeing the bogey beast all to myself, and making myself so unfastened with it too. My goodness. I do feel that uplifted, that grand. So she went into her cottage and spent the evening chuckling over her excellent luck.